presenting.
Or is it the same?
No, the contours tend to be sort of either averaged or on the very, very common planes like an Airbus A320 or a Boeing 737. But then it depends which model you're talking about. For the Boeing 737-800s, the ones that used to crash because the computers tried to fly differently from the pilots. They've got that sorted out. And there are going to be quite a few of them. I think Ryanair are building quite a big fleet of them at Edinburgh. And EasyJet have a lot of the new A320 Neos, I think they call them. And they too have got these quieter engines on them. And the other thing that's happening is that the planes are getting bigger, so they can carry more people. Because interestingly, the last quarter, the airport's passenger figures have gone up by, I don't know, 10%, but the number of flights has only gone up by about 2%, and that's because the planes are bigger, they can carry more people. And they're not making that much more noise, or less noise, which is quite good.
Excuse me, I've just got the rope. Thank you very much.
Andrew, there are some drop-in sessions which they're
Yes.
running. Are they
Yep.
worth going to? You said you've been.
I've helped at a couple of them. I went to the one at Livingston, I went to the one yesterday at Dunfermline. What you get is these diagrams, and I'm happy to leave one set of these with you if you would like. If people want to access them. I don't know how easily they can do that, but I'm certainly I can do that. So you'll see that. He's not going to be all of them, but I think he said he was going to be at Musselburgh. The gentleman from Nats was very good because he had on his laptop a brilliant map, really, really clear, and you could see exactly where the sort of the centre line of that was going to be and what it was going to fly over and what it wasn't going to fly over. And I'd been a bit concerned about H-Head when I saw his map there. I said, well, that's fine, H-Head's off to the side, it's fine. So from that point, it was very worth it. They have a thing called a sound box where you can put in you can say Cowsland or Edgehead or wherever, and they've got a set of earphones and you can listen to, and you can hear what it would like for a plane going over. You can do that online. On the website, one of the tabs says virtual room, and if you go into it, it's like you're in a room and you can sort of walk around and you can see things, and there is a version of the sound box there. It's a little bit tricky to operate, so it's maybe easy to have somebody there doing it for you if you go
My
to the
wife
drop-in
tried to
session.
do it the other night and just totally failed.
Yes, that's right. It's a little bit, I thought it was going to be easier than that. They also have some videos that I'm disappointed with because they said they're going to be videos that will show you the plane flying over the countryside. It's very, very like stick cartoon type sort of thing. It is there, and they're trying to show both the height and where it's going, and I don't think that's worked. It was a nice idea, but I don't think it's really worked. And again, there's further copies of these and other stuff. So it's worth having a look around.
The closest one to us is at
Musselburgh
Rugby Club
9th
on the 9th of
9th of
December.
December. Yeah.
And they run from 2 till 8.
2 to 8. Yep.
8 p.m. at night.
Yep.
And they
Just
just
one
drop in.
supplementary question.
Yep.
With the expected growth in the number of flights, the use of the stacking zone, or you called it the
Hold area.
the holding
Yep,
area,
yep.
that's likely to be increasing. And what's the most northerly point, which you said in Peebles? So roughly where would the most northerly point of that be in relation to Midlothian?
It is just about Peebles. There it is, and Peebles is there.
All right.
So it's right up at the top. So
So the circle.
the airplane's going round and round
is
circles.
around
Aren't
Peebles.
they? Yeah. They would affect that. The only thing, one final thing I would say, just to, I have been encouraging people to send in noise complaints. If there's a plane that upsets you, annoys you, send in a noise complaint. Every noise complaint has to be officially recorded and it gets reported. And this was the report for 2023 Q3, and you won't possibly see it because my ink ink's running out on my printer. But here's a list of the complaints they've received. Down the side there, it says where they are. In Eleven, Burnt Island, Uphall and Lithgow, Kirkliston, Birthnesk, Inverkeithing, Kirkcaldy, Barnton, Glenlee Avenue. Why that gets individual, I don't know. Newbridge, Ecclesmachan, Dunfermline, Dalkeith, Sound, Queensway, Bathgate, Biddybark, and so on. It says how many complaints they've received and also how many complainants. Now, the folk in the front, maybe even further back, you might see one there. The line goes all the way across the page. That person has put in 179 complaints. One person. That's one person. He's known. I mean.
Is he called Andrew?
No, mine are up there in Dalkeith. I mean, the airport have actually gone out to him and tried to understand why he's putting in all this, because he's clearly really, well, he either just doesn't like aeroplanes or he is genuinely affected by it. And if that's the case, then what happened? And Dalgety Bay isn't, well, that's the next one there. And there are one or two quite strong voices. There's some from Dalgety Bay on the noise board. So,
is it worth just making people aware of that on the Facebook Time Warner Facebook, because I think a lot of people won't be aware of how to do it.
You can do it online. There's a link, and once you've done it once, well, on my iPad it's remembered my details, so you haven't got to put your name and address in each time. You just need to say claim is too loud.
So where to complain? You want to know where to complain, is that right?
Yeah. For people, because a lot of folk might not know you can do that. So
We'll put it on the community council
And
page.
the other thing is, if you're interested in this, is the airport has a thing called the Noise Lab, and they do it as a map of the area, and you can see planes coming in, and it records any noise monitors around the airport will show you how much noise they're showing and stuff like that. And they do build up an awful lot of data, an awful lot of data.
I think if I understood you correctly, you summarised it quite well in a couple of sentences, that what they've done is they've narrowed the whole thing down to affect less people but in a bigger way. And that's where I have a problem in understanding why that has to happen, why it can't be a wider distribution affecting more people but less.
The reason it's been narrowed down is because this is how air navigation is going. That is how the industry is moving. They're moving towards these more concentrated pathways because of the absolute improvement in safety in directing them like
And that's
that.
a necessity. Isn't
So the question you might want to ask is, why only have one route? Why couldn't you have 2 or 3 routes? That's a possibility. The other one you might want to ask is why. This is the one here. What are the possibilities of making that one go further to the east, like that? But again, you'd almost have to look on the map and draw your line and send that off. So why couldn't you do this one? There, it's possible the wretched Northumbria gliders might have an issue there. But it's interesting when once you start looking at it, and you discover just how many pressures there are on where you can actually put them, and then the restrictions they've got to follow because of the CAA guidelines. It actually gets quite hard to try and do something that you hope is for the benefit of the majority of people. And I mean, even one of the departures to the west, it's been moved just slightly, so it's going to follow the M8. It's going to fly along over the M8 because obviously there's no houses in Central Reservation. Pardon?
But really, I suppose if it's flying at 5,000 to 6,000 feet, does it really make a difference if it's, are you going to tell whether it's directly above you or half a mile above you? Not really going to make any difference, is it?
There is a sort of a sound envelope that obviously directly underneath there's more noise, and then it lessens as you get to the side of it, and only once it's happening can you actually see what the effect's going to be. I have to say, sadly, that I was looking at the noise complaints things. I think there's only been about 2 from the Tyne Water area in the last 7 or 8 years. So people looking at those statistics are saying, well,
We didn't know we could complain. That's what I say, put it on that page, because I think a lot of people.
Correct, they're in for a shock.
How to do it, so, yeah.
Okay, Andrew,
Okay.
any final questions before Andrew goes? Thanks.
Has this been implemented in any other airport in the UK?
yes. It's
What's
going
the
to,
data from there?
it's about to, it's about to happen in Glasgow, because
But it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened yet, but I mean, something like this will be happening. Manchester and Leeds, I think it is, or is it Liverpool? Manchester and Liverpool, I think, are doing a joint one, and again on the same thing. And the one down in London, I would
Yeah,
not
but it
like to
hasn't been
be.
implemented. There's still
No,
the
no.
consultation. Okay, anywhere in Europe?
Pass. I just.
It'd be interesting to have data for something that's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
happened.
That's a question you could ask. There is an email link. I think it's like here to help or happy to help dot something or other. It'll be on the website. Ask them that question. I don't think that this is the first time that PBN is coming in. I mean, performance-based navigation is the way it is going, and I think we'll already have gone in some places. Maybe America, maybe Canada.
Sorry if I've missed this, but like for the Head, how much higher will they be flying over compared to what they are now?
I don't know, to be honest.
I'm
but-
just checking I just searched the long document, so there appears to be pressure from one of the new departure. The departure from 6
Yeah.
basically puts downward pressure on the arrival to 24.
Right.
So they will be between 5 and they must be below 6,000 feet, roughly around the Calsland area.
Right.
And below. So there's no actual elevation gain due to continuous descent, even with continuous descent, because
Right.
they can't.
Right.
The downward pressure there from that
Right.
departure.
Well, that's the sort of, I mean, that's well done, because that's the sort of information you need to be able to present and say, well, this is why, here are the reasons, and something like that, I think, is helpful.
And the cargo planes, do they fly the same route? They'll go the same route?
At this stage, when it's implemented, yes. I think just now, because it's done by vector control, by air traffic control, if it's in the middle of the night and it's quiet, they might be allowed to cut a corner. But under this, no, they won't. They'll be locked into one of these routes. That's the whole point of it. The air traffic control says, follow that one, follow that one, follow that one. And then they almost don't need to have any more contact with them. Though they say, well, they will keep monitoring, but it will just be monitoring. They're not having to say, right, okay, in perhaps a minute's time, I better get them to turn a little bit more that way. It's set, it's there, that's the route they'll fly. Which hopefully is safer.
One last
Sorry.
question, when an objection goes in, is it more powerful to put single objections in as it is in planning permission, or is a community objection as powerful as an individual objection? You know?
I'm tempted to say do both.
Okay.
I really don't know. All I know is that every objection, comment, whatever, has to be taken account. And if you've suggested, why don't we fly here, they've got to either come up with reasons why you shouldn't fly here, or say, oh, well, we'll think about that. Sorry, the lady there.
Just want to ask how long the consultation period is. How long
January the
is that?
25th. It's 12 weeks, but they've bunged in an extra 2 because of Christmas and New Year.
I'm just wondering, Peter might know, is Midlothian Council concerned about this and debating it and putting in a response from a council level?
We're waiting
The environmental
the
health.
councils think, and whether there's a consistent line as to how this could be ameliorated, going further to the east, going more over the Forth. Those are the track lines I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be the ward councillors probably will be more involved, because different wards, I think, are going to react differently. In fact,
Yeah, it was just as Midlothian Council, we have a responsibility for the health and well-being of their citizens.
yeah,
Environmental Health Department and the planning officers involved in looking after that might have a view.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I think they should.
I'm sure they will have been contacted, because they've cast the net for this consultation very, very wide, as well as all the things they're doing for the general public. They're having meetings for the airlines, for all sorts of particular bodies, and it may well be that local councillors are having their own separate meetings as well.
Yeah. So can we be informed about that?
Well, yes, of course. But my own sense is that we attack the basic concept deriving from the new air technology. We don't really know enough to contradict them, but we could talk about the precise path that they're choosing.
Yeah, I think it's the pathway that we need to look at.